Women are independent. They're capable, just as men are. But we've lost our way with respect to how do we defend our women? How do we provide for them when they're capable of providing for themselves?
Right.
So I think in that capacity, we're trying to find dragons to slay, and unfortunately, that can turn to different types of dragons, right? It can turn to drugs, it can turn to video games, it can turn to escaping into virtual reality, and not really confronting the issues of the day. Because look, at the end of the day, we've got to survive together. It's about family,
Right.
and in my case, I'm very spiritual. It's about God. God has created a very hierarchical plan for us, and the first and foremost is I have to understand what His plan is for me,
Mm.
and that takes a lot of study, a lot of prayers, a lot of listening, before I can stand and be the man God wants me to be, and I can be that for my family. And
Wow.
so I think in general, we've kind of lost that. Whether we lost our faith in God, God no longer plays the role He used to play. Men drifted from what God's plan was. Women revolted, and I'm not blaming them. They should have,
Mm.
in the abusive relationship, basically not taking care of them and respecting them. They've become independent. Men have lost their value as a provider, and now we're trying to figure out how we get back.
Right. That's really great way to explain it because I think my faith is action. I think faith is action, and a lot of people they think, "Oh, I believe in God," and I'm like, "Why you're not following Him? Like, why you're not doing what He asked you to actually do?" And I feel like now faith is waiting. There's people, "Oh, I believe it's gonna work out." I'm like, if it didn't work, it's not gonna work. Like you have to make it work out. You have to work it out. And now by you saying it takes you a lot of work by listening, by studying, by actually uh, praying, by making things happen, not just actually waiting for it to be happen. And I think I agree with you 100%. The way how man today is sometimes I don't know how to explain it, but I think it's really difficult. It's a difficult time. I don't know how the future will look like, but just praying that something will comes to excel out because I feel like also my motivation was pain and still pain because I feel like uh, I don't want to look backward though. I think it's just so painful
Hmm.
to look to the past or to live in there or to think about it. I just want to go forward and see what can I manifest, what can I create in God's name, and how can I actually have the best version of me that can serve God and my family at the
That's
same
right.
time. So I really respect the way you think, and I see there is a doctor and an entrepreneur and version of you, right?
That's right.
So what the difference between a doctor mindset and entrepreneur mindset as a businessman right now?
Well, as I said, my family, being blue collar, a lot of them were independent. They owned their own businesses. So
Right.
whether they were plumbers, construction workers, my father was an auto mechanic, owned his own business. I grew up around entrepreneurial spirit,
Okay.
and you alluded to it. In America, we have a tremendous opportunity that America provides for people, and that's being lost as well. And what I mean by that is people think that America is a place. It's
Mm.
not a place, it's an idea. And that idea is that man can rule himself. And that means that you come and you create your opportunities, you create your future. That's allowed here. Now, are everybody equal? No. Are you guaranteed equal outcome?
Right.
No. But if you try hard, put your head down, and look forward, and show up every day and work hard, you can succeed. And there's no doubt about it. Because, like I said, I travel globally, and I see different governmental structures that no matter how hard you work, you can't
Can't
achieve it.
make it.
And the way you grew up is the perspective you have, and I watch some of the Americans and what they're complaining about. They have no clue
Right.
how bad things can get. And when I say I'm a blessed man, what I mean by that is I always know that there's someone in worse condition than I am. That my
Right.
condition can be worse. No matter what it is, it can be worse. One. Two,
That's right.
that God sets my plan, and He He is making me a better person. He is instilling in me to be a better person by putting me through trials and tribulations. So it is not for me to condemn that. It's for me to realize that that's a blessing and to continue to move forward. And to take the tools he has given me, because I have nothing. I'm a sinner. He has given me the tools. He has given me everything I need to succeed, to follow his plan. So first I have to listen. I have to understand what his plan is. And then I follow that. That's my number one rule. And when you do that, when you bring God into your life and you really listen to him, his plan's perfect.
Wow.
So my plan is not perfect. It's not my plan. It's not my will. It's his. And the problem in today's world is we try to be God. We try to make it our will. And that's why we struggle. We struggle. So he does have a plan. You first have to believe. You got to listen and then just follow. And no, it doesn't mean it's going to be easy. But you know that what's happening is a father to his son or to his daughter is doing these things to make you a better person. So once that's a mindset, right? Once you have that mindset, I show up at work and the first thing they say is, "You're the happiest person I've ever seen. You're always smiling. You're always," I don't understand, because I'm a blessed man.
Right.
It starts with that. So I know I'm blessed.
Right.
So I have nothing to complain about. Do I complain? Yes, we all complain, but in a very shallow way, but realizing in the back of my mind saying, stop complaining, you're a blessed man. So that there gives you freedom. So once you're freed from the fear of all the things you don't know, and you know God has you, then you can move forward with confidence. And boy, confidence can drive you in your personal life and business life, right? People can smell fear and people smell confidence.
100%.
And leadership, you gotta have confidence. And majority of people want strong leadership. They're looking for strong leadership and they want to follow. So it's my duty, if I'm going to lead people, to learn how to be the most effective leader I can be.
That's
And
powerful.
that's what I've been working on.
And I think you are a really great leader. And now listening, I think the faith that you have made you like really strong leader as well. So I also like when you say that we are not equal. My mentor once he told me, he's like, listen, we are equal as a spirit, but we're not equal at in the marketplace.
That is right.
So the more valuable you become, the more you're actually gonna receive, because it's not about who you are. It's just, oh, I'm blessed, I have to get everything, and like everything is there. You just have to be valuable enough to actually receive what you actually did. And I think today, just by being grateful, I think is just a big key to receive more. I mean, understanding that the American dream, as you said, it's an idea. Everything is an idea. The phone is an idea. This podcast is an idea. Everything starts with the idea. But a lot of people, I feel like they stuck with the problem, and because you can't be grateful and afraid at the same time, right? You can't believe, faithful and afraid at the same time. You have to pick one. And I feel like a lot of people have this complaining mindset. They have the victim mindset. They just don't want to break through that mindset, and they stuck in there and they think, oh, life is happening to them.
That's right.
When actually, from what I'm understanding right now, and Tony Robbins once said, life is happening for you, it's not to you. So how do you overcome problems in your perspective? If like, I mean, I know there is a lot of people right now watching us, and they have a problem, right?
Yeah.
And they have some maybe, I think, a block. I call it like a mental block, that I mean, maybe they don't have the tools, or they don't have the power or the courage to break. What do you think is the fastest way for somebody to actually make that shift in his?
It's a mental shift. The first thing is you got to realize, or really understand how the mind works. You can exercise your mind like you exercise your body. If you're going to be a top athlete, you got to exercise. You got to do your due diligence to prepare for whatever sport you're going to be in. If you're going to be a strong leader, you're going to have to prepare, whether that's leadership in your personal life or your business life. You have to prepare your mind. It starts in your head. Gandhi once said, "Never let a man with dirty shoes walk across your mind," meaning never let another man into your head. And playing a victim is you're letting people into your head, and that's your fault. That's not the person that you're thinking is holding you back. So what is that mindset? The way the mind works, and this is important, is your base brain is where all your stimulus come through. It's your amygdala. And everything comes through that. And that's your emotional state. That's where all your emotions are. And your frontal lobe is what separates us from the rest of the animals. We have this frontal lobe, which is logic, which is thinking.
Right.
Right? So in order for all your stimuli that goes on in your life to come through to your frontal lobe, it's got to get through your amygdala. And some people, the way their brains work, tend to spend more time in their amygdala, and some people spend more time in their frontal lobe. Thank God most of us have a balance. You know,
Right.
we all got to come through the amygdala, but you can, and this is an important part, actually exercise and recognize first that that is occurring, that your emotional state is because things come through your amygdala. And when that happens, your neurons fire, and the chemical reaction that's there lasts for a bit of time, meaning you're in an emotional state for all, even though you know you're in an emotional state, you're still
Right.
emotional.
Right.
So you don't want to make decisions when you're in that state, because those decisions are made poor when you're in your emotional state. They're weak decisions and they're not clear. So you got to just practice understanding that and spending more and more time into your frontal lobe. And the way I did that over time was I grew up with a very emotional father. He was a rageaholic.
Wow.
He would set off and just get emotional, and I had to deal with that growing up, and watching him. And I didn't want to be that, and I was starting to emulate that at a young age. But what I realized was I can literally mentally sit between my amygdala and my frontal lobe and look at both sides, right? So I know when I'm being emotional, and I know when I got to just stop and walk away and not say another word, because I'm in my emotional state, and I know I'm not thinking logically. And then calm down and then pull myself into my logical state. And those are behaviors you can work on, and over time you get better and better.